Bhagwan Shri Yogi Ramsuratkumar ki jai. Sarvam Yogi Ramsuratkumar Ashram. That we have offered the Nama flowers once again at the lotus feet of Bhagwan. It's by His pure grace that we were able to do so at all. So let's celebrate this grace, without which we would have found 100 excuses for not coming here and participating. We are so busy with life, with this and that. Now, we have been seeing Leelas, one after the other, the drops from the Leela ocean. And then we saw the Leelas of Nama, Nama's glory. Now we shall take up one or two teachings of Bhagwan, which we have to remember and practice to invoke His grace. Bhagwan says, those people who could possibly come to Him are really fortunate, because even spending a fraction of a second with Him will bring an enormous benefit. He says, if people could recollect to memory whatever they found interesting about His Leelas, about His life, about the experiences they had with Him, it would be His words. It would be Ambrosia, nectar, amrita, which they could not get even after 1,000 years of rigorous tapas. His words. And then he added, do not think this beggar speaks lightly. What this beggar is telling you is truth, Satyam. Just see how fortunate we are. Bhagwan, who is doing so much. Thousands of people live by His name. His name has touched thousands of lives. Our lives are centering around Him. And here Bhagwan says, spending time, even a fraction of a second, people would benefit enormously recollecting any experience with Him, anything that people find interesting about His life, His teachings, His Leelas, would be Ambrosia, nectar, amrita, which they could not get even after 1,000 years of rigorous tapas. how fortunate we are. Just bring it again and again to the mind. Though Bhagwan is not present today in his form, in his body, he is so much alive. His grace is very active. The Shila Murthy that you see here is no Shila. It is Murthy. It's an Archavatar, they call it. We see animation in it. We see him turning his eyes towards us sometimes and moving his hands or legs. Sometimes people would even observe his breathing. He's so alive. And he is all pervasive. There is no place where he is not. There is no time where he is not. And that is why we have been going through the experiences of the devotees. And also some episodes from his own life and from the lives of the devotees. Bhagwan said, one of the times people were around, this beggar can turn poison into ambrosia. A lump of clay into Mahamir. This beggar can do it for people who call out to him from the depths of their heart. This beggar could turn poison into amrita, nectar. Another time he said, when Papa Ramdas was there in Ananda Ashram, and Shri Yogi Ji happened to be with him at the time, there were about 5 or 6 people around. And Papa Ramdas was speaking. He said, the Shastras, the scriptures, the Hindu scriptures say that a guru can bless his disciple either by look or by thought or by word or by touch or by a smile. And then he smiled. And then he asked those people around, have any one of you here, present here, felt any of this? He had said 5, look, thought, word, touch and smile. Everybody kept quiet. Nobody claimed any blessing by any of this. When Shri Yogi Ji, who was present there, he raised both his hands and shouted joyously, this beggar felt all the 5. Now, even though Bhagwan is not in the body, he is that all-pervasive grace that is ever flowing. There is no time when the grace stops flowing. And so, his grace comes through various ways. He keeps talking to us in different ways. You just have to look around. Sometimes he talks from inside. Sometimes he conveys a message from outside. You can find a bird acting in a certain way, drawing your attention, and there will be a lesson to learn. You could hear, just when you were thinking about a problem, or you would be talking to some friend about it, some passerby would make a comment in the middle of their conversation, and that would fit in exactly with what you have been talking. That's Bhagwan speaking. He has a very clever way of letting you know what he wants from you. Sometimes he appears in dreams and tells you exactly what to do. It always said any dream of either Bhagwan Yogi Ramsuratkumar or any deity for that matter is always real. What these great masters or deities could not convey to you in the physical level, they do it in the dream, in the astral level. So Bhagwan, even today, is conveying his messages, conveying his blessings, his guidance to every source possible around you. We just have to be alert. We have to be vigilant. And Bhagwan had also said, those who have Rama's grace, those who have God's grace, for them the fire becomes cool. And then he talked about Anjaneya, Hanuman, when he jumped across the sea, went to the other side, Sri Lanka, and they set fire to his tail. But the fire did not burn him. He was in his master's work. He was in his Rama Seva. Even though they set fire, it was not burning him because he had Rama's grace. He was chanting Ram Nam. Bhagwan went on to say, for people who have the grace of the Guru, grace of Sri Rama, an ocean becomes like the hoof of a cow. You know how much water can be held when a cow walks, how the hoof make an impression in the earth and how much water it would contain. He says for those who have the grace of God, the grace of the Guru, a huge ocean which cannot be crossed easily would become like the water held by the impression of the hoof of a cow. So you see, the grace is ever flowing. Bhagwan is here, standing before us with his hand raised in benediction. And there is a smile, always, if you look for it. If you are so busy with your own prayer for this thing and that thing, you might not notice all these things. Or if you don't even have a prayer, you just walk in and observe people and complain, criticize all that's going on around. If you have eyes only for people around, you will not be able to see the animation in Bhagwan's Murthy. You may not even notice the smile on his lips. And there's a constant beam of light coming from the raised hand of Bhagwan. Again, if you care to see, you would be able to notice it. You would be able to sense the presence of grace around. He is ever there, ready to help, guide and protect us, if only we call out. So remember, we have learned two things. Bhagwan had assured us, if anybody should recollect, remember from memory anything that they found interesting with him, with his life, or in their lives, it would be like amrita, like nectar which you cannot get by 1,000 years of rigorous tapas. What a blessing, what grace. These great masters come only to simplify sadhana for people, for the weaklings like us. We cannot do any rigorous tapas. We cannot even do nama chanting properly, far less meditation or any rigorous tapas. It is for people like us that these great masters have come down to simplify the tapas, the divine prayers that they developed by their tapas. They give you just by your entering the ashram. Just see how easily it's available. Now, to this Bhagwan, we shall submit today's prayers. Bhagwan, you have said you could turn poison into ambrosia, a lump of clay into Mahameru. We seek your divine intervention, immediate intervention to free the entire world from the present afflictions. From the pandemic that the people are going through, from this dreadful grip of the virus and its variants, and bring back a dharmic normalcy in every country, in every aspect of life. Bhagwan, only you could do that. We beseech you again and again to uproot the panic from the hearts of people, the sense of helplessness, enter the appropriate medicines so that it could work and kill all these viruses. And Bhagwan, those brave, great soldiers were ever ready to sacrifice their own happiness and health, fighting the disease in order to help others, save others. Please give them protection and all-round well-being. And Bhagwan, please give a boost to the economy, and above all, we are praying every day, again and again, for constant remembrance of your name, seeking your blessings all the time, and go about our daily life as fitting instruments in your hands, with gratitude, filled with gratitude all the time for all the good things you have already given us. And let us keep recollecting the experiences, the Leelas of Bhagwan. Again and again, let us share it with other people. He has promised that it's ambrosia which you cannot get over 1,000 years of rigorous tapas. Jai Yogi Ramsuratkumar.